I think it's Saturday, July the 27th, and today we're going to be talking about the H10 leak detector. I'm up at the office, just got back from a service call, and I'm going to walk outside, get my leak detector out of the truck, and talk about it. So we'll walk on out. My little Mitsubishi banner up there, but check out the cop. Got him some income for the city of Canton. Anyway, oh yeah, look, got new wheels and tires put on the truck. I think they make the truck look pretty good. Anyway, let's get in here, and this is where the H10 rides, right next to me all the time. So it doesn't ride in the back, it always stays up front, and that way I take good care of it. But we'll go inside here and get set up and talk about it. Alright, so here we are at the desk here, and I'm going to open it up. It's on the front, there's two snaps, you unsnap them. What comes in it when you first get the H10 is your maintenance kit with all your filters, your little probe, and your little, inside this little envelope here is some little balls, and those are to check your vacuum of your tube. We'll check that out here in a little bit. But I think there's 100 little filters in here, and comes with 3 little rubber ends that go over the top of it to keep you from I kind of use them to make sure that I don't run into any water, because you don't want to suck water up into it. See, it has a 3-year warranty. Now all these things are made by Bacharach, even though they have different names on them, like mine's the Johnson Controls, Yokohama has one, and other people have them, but Bacharach is actually the manufacturer of them. But you actually have your instructions, tells you all about it. But I use mine, I've used mine for about 7 or 8 years. This is a new one. I actually had another one, and I left it at somebody's house, and it was getting kind of wore out. The speaker quit working, and I actually soldered in a headphone jack, which worked really, really well. So you do have the option to do that. And I don't know what was going on with that one. The speaker blew in it about 3 or 4 times, and I sent it back once or twice, and they replaced the speaker. And after the 3rd time, I finally said, you know what, I'm gonna use a headphone jack. So I have one that I got from a Verizon phone, soldered in a headphone jack, used that little earpiece from the phone. So when you open it up like that. Of course, you come with a cord. Now these come in different things. You have different kinds. You have a battery one, you have a corded one, which is 120 volts, then you have another version which is 220, 230, 240. I prefer the plug-in type because there's always an outlet close to where I'm at, and I don't mind carrying a 25-foot cord around. And really, a battery is just something else to break. And when you have a tool that costs this much, I think this was $430, I think this one cost me, but you can find them on eBay for cheaper. Problem is I don't want to buy a used tool from anybody. It's just, you don't know what, so I don't want to go through that aggravation. I'd rather, and I'd really prefer not to buy this online. I prefer to go to the supply house, pick one up. I got this one at Johnstone. I think Zach Talon, he got one from R.E. Michael. I know Israel bought one, and Skipper, I forget your last numbers, but Skipper, he had just bought one. He's a subscriber. and I think he subscribes to just about all of us. But Steven has one. He's got a Yokohama he's had for a really long time, and if somebody else has one, then sorry I didn't mention your name, but in my opinion, and the other guys that have one will tell you that this is the best leak detector on the market. So with that being said, we'll go over some other stuff. Alright, it comes with a calibration bottle of R11, and this see the little hole right there, that represents a ½ ounce a year, that little bitty hole right there. And we'll turn it on here in just a minute and use it and see what happens. I've never had that thing opened, just because I just never had it open. Alright, so I got it open now. You unscrew it, it comes in two different parts. So you got your lid there, and it's got this little aluminum piece right there with a hole in it, and it's got a little piece of paper. But you want to make sure you keep that paper because you got to put it back. You put your aluminum piece back on, screw it back in. Now this is your calibration bottle, like I said. So peel that off there. I never use it, so I don't even know. Anyway, so let's plug it in and kind of check it out. Before I plug it in, let me go over the sensor, because that thing will get hot here in a second. It has a sensor on it that's right here, and it unplugs, and there's like a little heat strip in there. Well, every once in a while I've had them get dirty on the inside there, and all I do is just take it out, blow through there, because it'll start getting erratic after a while. So I just blow through there and it seems to do okay. So but that's just been my experience, because these little things are, I don't know how much they cost, but I know this little maintenance kit right here is like $45. I think you can find them online, probably a little more at the supply house. But as you can see though, there's 100 filters in there. I actually need to change the filter in mine. But yeah, this is a little sensor, and that little thing will get hot. I've actually got it erratic, started going erratic, and I've actually touched that thing while it was hot, thinking I could pull it out with no problem. But guess what? You can't pull it out. You'll get you ever hear the saying about the kid reaching up on the stove, he'll only do it once? Well, sensor. Alright, so let's plug it in. Alright, so it's plugged in. Alright, so we got it plugged in. The way you're supposed to check this is you're supposed to put it over on the small setting. Down here at the bottom you got a small, medium, and large. Put it over on the small setting, and then you got to give it it's got a 2-minute warm-up. See, it's that sensitive where it picked up that R11 right there. From right there. So we'll let it warm up a little bit. Now, like I said, I have nothing but good things to say about this leak detector. I have found leaks at somebody's house, and it's kind of one of those things where they refuse to believe that there was a leak, even though you put Freon in the unit every year for 3 years, and nobody could ever find the leak. I found the leak, showed the son of the guy, and when he got home, his son told him, well, the leak was there, and he did not believe it because he didn't want to spend the money. And he called somebody else, and they brought their little $150 leak detector out there, and they couldn't find the leak. And the guy was mad at me because he thought I was overcharged, or trying to overcharge him, rip him off because he had the leak. So we wound up going back out and meeting with the guy and showing him what the leak was. So it wasn't good enough where put Freon in the unit for 3 years, found a leak, showed his son. He believed another guy with a inferior leak detector. So when you got to compare apples to apples with these things, because all things are not created equal. So anyway, so what you're supposed to do is you set your sensitivity, the little dial down here where it says balance. You set your sensitivity where it's clicking 1 to 3 clicks per second. I'm trying to get it down there, because once you get it down so far, it starts clicking really fast. So you kind of got to do it slow. Alright. Alright, so there's I always keep mine around that B. Alright, so let's go over. Now that is about a ½ ounce a year. Now let's take it to where it's not clicking and see what happens. Alright, so that little hole is a ½ ounce per year. So you can see how good it actually is. Alright, so that's the small setting. Now, I don't run mine on small for different reasons. One reason is because you will wear the sensor out faster by using it on the small setting. And, you know, this is a tool that I guess people would say, well, you should just keep a sensor on the truck. Well, I think I've only ever had to replace one, and I use mine quite a bit. So I just don't have another sensor. But anyway, so let's try a medium with that little calibration bottle right there. So turning the dial so we're setting the clicks. Alright. Got a little too hot. See how it speeds up? Alright, so let's go over to the bottle. So there you go. So the small is a ½ ounce per year, the medium is 1 ounce per year, and the large setting is 5 ounces a year. So let's put it over on large. You would think that if you set it over on large that you'd be able to find leaks, since you know they're a pound low or whatever, but I always have good luck on the medium. I never put it on small, unless it is a real small 410 leak. If it's a 410 leak, then yeah, I'll put it over on small. So now we got it on large. Let's see what happens. Alright. So there you go. There you go. So anyway, so that's the operation of it. Now let's get back to the sensor. The sensor starts losing life after a while, so it starts not getting as sensitive. So there is a way to set it. Alright, before we turn it over and look at the calibration screw and talk about that, we'll talk about the filter. To change the filter and get to the filter, of course, you take that piece off there, the rubber cap, and I don't know if you can see it, but the rubber ball is in there. It's a rubber ball right there. We'll show you here in a second how to kind of test for that. Anyway, what you do to get the filter out is you take a paper clip and kind of push it into it, and just pull it out like that. And while I got it out, we'll go ahead and change it. Getting your little maintenance bag here. get your new filter. Take your new filter. It's pretty self-explanatory. Blow it out there. Just stick it back in there. They're pretty tough to come out, so they're not just going to fall out. And then you put your rubber cap back on like that. And well, let's leave that off. We'll get it plugged back in, and I'll show you the rubber ball, how to test and make sure your vacuum's still working. Alright, to test and see if your ball is working, what you do is you turn it on. You hold your finger like that on the bottom of it. See how the ball moves? So that's to tell if your vacuum is working. Alright, so we got that. Simple enough. Then let's get everything packed away here. We will unplug it. That kind of put your cord back. Make sure you put your rubber cap back on. Put everything back in it. Put your instructions back in it. Close it back up. The last thing we're going to talk about is the calibration screw. If you see right here, you got this screw here, and right now mine is in the 9 o'clock position. And as the sensor gets older, it starts losing sensitivity, and you will have to adjust. The brand new ones usually come around 7 o'clock, and I must have been messing with it because of a 410 leak, and I turned it up just a little bit to around 9 o'clock, but the new ones come at 7 o'clock. And as the sensor gets older, you will have to actually turn it, and then when you hit the 2 o'clock position, you're pretty much done. You're going to have to get a new sensor. But like I said, I've never had to replace it. My old one, I did have to send it in because of the speaker, and then when I sent it in for the speaker, then they did all the adjustments and the calibration. But other than that, I have had no problems. It has not been unreliable. And like I said, my opinion, the best leak detector on the market, hands down. And anybody else that has one, they will agree with me 100%. Those that just bought theirs, like Talon, John Israel, I know Steven, OC Refrigeration, I know he has one. They will all tell you how good these things are. And if there's anybody else that has one that I didn't mention, you know, leave a comment and tell everybody what you think about yours. But that's it. That is the explanation of the H10 leak detector, made by Bacharach and marketed by many. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. That let's see if I can open it. There's a little paper thing in there. But anyway, let's turn it on. Now I gotta make sure that my little thing is plugged in. Hold on a second. Alright. So when you first get this thing, what the Oh, hell. Guess what I just did? I just turned that damn bottle over. It's a good thing I don't ever use it.